I had an interesting conversation. I had an interesting exchange with a very experienced attorney, Dakota, and I thought everybody would be interested in hearing what he had to say about VanDerStok.
Yeah.
VanDerStok was the Supreme Court case that was just decided. Unfortunately, not in our favor. Didn't go our way, and we talked a lot about it. It was really kind of honestly a wake-up call to me. It was a wake-up call as far as being able to just kind of assume that the Supreme Court is going to do everything we want them to do.
Right.
And I don't think that's the case. But he pointed out a couple of things that this is the Bondi versus VanDerStok decision, and I think it's a lot. He pointed out with his expertise and experience that it's a lot more focused decision than maybe I thought. So maybe the sky isn't falling as much as I thought. And I thought I'd read some of his comments. I took notes. Okay, regarding Bondi and VanDerStok, again, this is Robert Wright, experienced attorney, Second Amendment experienced attorney, very great guy. It merely holds that the ATF 2022 rule prohibiting the sale of weapons, part kits, and disassembled receivers or frames does not facially violate the National Gun Act of 1968, meaning the Supreme Court did not find that the rule was inconsistent on its face in all instances with the Act's definition of weapon. Now, here's the important piece that maybe I didn't see as thoroughly as he explains here. So weapon, quote unquote weapon, that's an artifact noun used by Congress to describe the intended use of an unfinished product or the parts kit. Although one kit that can be readily converted into a Glock-type handgun in 21 minutes with little effort and simple tools is a weapon, an example used by the Supreme Court majority, a kit requiring more time, effort, expertise, or specialized tools to be complete may not be a weapon. That's a direct quote. So if it requires more, quote, time, effort, expertise, or specialized tools to complete, end quote, then it may not be considered a weapon according to this decision. So there's no what he calls a bright line rule here. And because there's no bright line rule, except for the Glock replica example, if someone sells a kit without knowing it violates the law or requires a background check, the government should not unfairly penalize that person because of a fair notice problem.
Interesting.
And that's actually, Kavanaugh pointed that out. So they basically said, look, if it isn't exactly this, what we're describing, and they do something unintentional, that we're not saying that that's illegal. So it was a very, very focused, it was a much more focused decision than I thought. He went on to say that the rule does not allow the ATF, quote, to regulate standalone triggers, barrels, stocks, or magazines. Extremely important. The rule, especially with this ridiculousness here in California, they're trying to make barrels into guns, which is just ludicrous. The rule does not regulate all weapons kits, quote, without regard to how complete they come or how difficult they are to assemble. The rule does not have the unintended result of applying to receivers on AR pattern rifles or AR pattern firearms or, whatever, pistols, rifle, AR pattern, which could be converted to automatic fire and qualify as machine guns, violating the National Firearms Act. I thought that was all enormously...
it's kind of a relief how it's being, what we've heard about it, I think maybe has been taken a little bit out of context. It sounds like it's much more narrow than I had originally thought.
I think so too. And honestly, I kind of looked back to when I read it. It's 127 pages.
Yeah.
So I thought back to when I read it, and I think that there's kind of this, this E2 brutai, you know what I mean? Like where you're, so it was so disappointing that our friends in the Supreme Court turned on us.
Right.
That it maybe that first couple of reads was a little bit more dramatic than maybe it should have been. Still a bad decision.
Yes, agreed.
Still don't agree with it. But I thought that Robert Wright's I thought he shined a bright light on some important pieces there, which I appreciate. Hey, thanks for watching Gun Owners Radio. I hope you loved that clip. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and follow us on social media, and check out our website at gunownersradio.com.